We have heard a term now and again thrown around, and I hate this term. It is a Konami Code quarterback. Everyone says that you need one to win a you need one to win a quarterback. You need one to win your league. And we're here to tell you that while it certainly helps, it is not 100% necessary. What is a Konami Code quarterback exactly? It's a guy that, they're going to throw. They're going to run for a lot of yards too. They're going to run for some touchdowns. What are some examples? You got guys like Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, guys that could use their arm as well as their leg. Cheat code quarterback. How can we skirt around having a Konami Code quarterback? And then we'll talk about some would you rather, just to give you some examples of how you can set up your lineup without having a quarterback like this.
Yes, it's great to have that potential rushing stats. I mean, it's good to have that for a quarterback. But there has been plenty of times where this doesn't need to happen for you to win leagues. Patrick Mahomes threw for like 50-something touchdowns. Not sure how much rushing yards he has, but I'm sure it's not close to what Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson is doing. But he had over 5,000 plus passing yards. He had over 40 touchdowns. I mean, that's all you can really ask for out of your quarterback. If you get the rushing, that's great. But I want Tom Brady throwing 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. I want Drew Brees throwing 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns. I get it. It's great to have those guys, but I don't think you really need that to win your fantasy leagues. I think if you have guys that are productive, that are always going to be throwing the football in the game, Justin Herbert, yes, he runs a little bit, but you can count on Justin Herbert to throw the ball 30-plus times each game. Tom Brady's going to throw it 30-plus times each game. Mahomes might have to throw it 40-plus times this game or each game. So if you're having that many attempts, good things are going to happen, especially with the guys that are accurate with the football like those three.
Yeah, and Patrick Mahomes, he did run for 381 yards last year, which is a career high. But again, Jalen Hurts ran for almost 800 yards. He had 10 touchdowns on the ground. Patrick Mahomes had 2. The difference is he threw for almost 5,000 yards and 37 touchdowns. Yep. So we're talking about the Konami Code. Jalen Hurts was at 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions, and I think about 1,700 yards less. So it's just something to think about there.
All right. So for me, I'm just piggybacking for what Chef says. Just history shows that if you look at the top quarterbacks every year, and a huge amount of those guys are pocket quarterbacks, they get the ball out fast and they preserve their bodies. So pretty much let's base it off of last year, right? Justin Herbert, I wouldn't consider him a Konami Code quarterback. He was the quarterback too. Tom Brady, he runs like a freaking giraffe. He's a quarterback 3 on the season. You don't need these Konami Code quarterbacks for you to win these leagues. Even Joe Burrow, Dak Prescott doesn't run anymore like that. Aaron Rodgers, Matthew Stafford, Kirk Cousins, and Ryan Tannehill. All these guys are top 12 quarterbacks. You don't have to continue to reach for these Konami Code quarterbacks. I think it started to rot in people's minds that, hey, I need this quarterback that's going to run and pass. There's maybe one or two, like a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, but the rest of the guys are guys that's in the pocket, slinging it and preserving their bodies. Now, I know a lot of people say running the ball as a quarterback, you can, you're bevy to an injury, but at this point, yes, that could happen, but you're more likely to get hurt. So give me the guy that's going to drop back into the pocket, get the ball out quick, and get the job done, and get you consistent fantasy points every week. And then you worry about till you get to your playoff, your Konami Code quarterback is hurt. Give me the consistency from week to week with good completion percentage. Consistent touchdowns and being on the field. So as you look at, like I said, I just named off the top 12 quarterbacks. Josh Allen I would consider him one because he runs the ball a lot. Jalen, Kyler. There's no Lamar Jackson because he didn't finish that high last year. But even 13 to 14, Derek Carr and Carson Wentz. These guys aren't Konami Code quarterbacks. So I think this is something that's a myth in the fantasy world, And I think we need to get away from it and continue to look at the production that the other quarterbacks is throwing for 4,000, 4,500 yards, and 5,000 yards, which sounds crazy, but the guys are doing it and they're giving you quality quarterback 1 weeks consistently week to week.
I'm going to take the value dip at the quarterback position, and I'm going to get guys that throw for hella yards, as you guys were saying, but I'm going to surround him with elite talent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? People are really down on Jared Goff this year. They're really down on Carson Wentz. You're getting them so late in drafts. Is it sustainable long term? No, you're going to have to do some work, but you're always working on your roster anyway. It's not just the set it and forget it thing. That's how you get into trouble. It's do would you rather, and it's going to show you that when you pay up for these quarterbacks, you're going to pay down in other spots.
Mm-hmm.
So would you rather have Josh Allen and Travis Etienne or Jonathan Taylor and Kirk Cousins? I personally want Jonathan Taylor and Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is going to be a quarterback 1. Jonathan Taylor very well could repeat as the running back 1 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Led the NFL. Had almost 2,000 yards rushing last year. I want that side.
Yeah. I'm with you on that one because Kirk Cousins also has a Justin Jefferson he's throwing the ball to.
And Adam Thielen, and he could hand off to Dalvin Cook too. So
yes.
Yeah.
So he has talent on his team, which is making him a quarterback 1. So give me a quarterback 1 and a running back 1 instead of a quarterback 1 and
wide receiver 3.
Running back. I'm not really sure that I'm not really high on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. Yeah,
Travis Etienne.
Running back. Forgive me. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. If Travis Etienne goes out and shows us that he can be a guy that's a good reception running back, somebody that can run the football good as well. I mean, I want to say he was one of the top rushers in the ACC when he was in college. I think he might have a few records as well. So, I mean, just because he was hurt last year, I know I'm a little skeptical. I don't know exactly what I'm getting. It's Jacksonville, but I think he has talent, and Josh Allen he's a good running back. I'm probably going to go with the safer one, Jonathan Taylor and Kirk Cousins, but I can see where maybe we look back next year, we see Josh Allen and Travis Etienne, and we say, yeah, that's a pretty damn good combo there. I kind of want to go with that instead. So I can see where it possibly changes next year.
But I mean, for this year, that you're all of a sudden you're competing with Taylor and Kirk Cousins. Not to say that you won't without, on the other side, there's just more questions around Travis Etienne.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Would you rather have Lamar Jackson and Gabriel Davis or Jamar Chase and Jared Goff? I said I was high on Jared Goff, higher than other people, and Jamar Chase is the wide receiver 1 for right reasons. Again, give me the statue at quarterback and give me the best one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Jamar Chase obviously is a stud, man. We're gonna see him continue to be that guy in Cincinnati, I think, for the foreseeable future. He's got a young quarterback with him as well. Gabe Davis, I mean, he's not even the wide receiver 1 on his team. He's not a guy that I don't really know what I'm going to get each week. Yes, he did well in a playoff game or 2, but he's just not a guy that I can really trust. Lamar Jackson, I think, can be an MVP. I think he has that ability every single season. But yeah, I'm probably going with the wide receiver 1 and Jared Goff. Even if you need to trade Jamar Chase, you could get way more value than what you're probably getting with Gabe Davis and Lamar Jackson at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Jared Goff and the Jamar Chase side because I think the thing we have to factor in is that Jared Goff didn't really have much to work with last year, and it was his first year in that offense too. So now you're putting weapons around him. We all know they had Swift and Hawkinson, but now they have Chark. Now they have a Jameson Williams. I think Jared Goff, to me, has a better season. I know he was a quarterback 24, if I'm not mistaken, maybe in Detroit last year. So I think he levels up there with that offense, and then you getting that value dip on quarterback and getting possibly a top 3 wide receiver in fantasy. I think that's perfect for me.
Yeah. And Hawkins and Swift, they missed time with injuries, but you're adding Jameson Williams, like you said, another year in the offense.
The offensive line's not bad either. That team.
Offensive line is really good.
Kyler Murray and CeeDee Lamb or Justin Jefferson and Matthew Stafford. On this one, I'm not going to lie. I kind of want the Kyler Murray and CeeDee Lamb side, to be honest with you. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm not I think Matthew Stafford is a guy that can throw for 5,000 yards or get pretty dang close to it. 30 plus touchdowns. Kyler Murray has never thrown, I don't think, for 4,000 yards. He may have gotten close, but I don't think he's had that production yet in his arm. His offensive line is really poor this season. I really want him to have a great year, but I'm really, really worried about the offensive line. I was last year, and they made do with it. They did pretty dang well, more than I expected. I love Justin Jefferson too. I mean, I don't know how you can go away from a guy that gets 1,600 yards. He's got his quarterback for the next few years, and I just love everything about Matthew Stafford. He's got all the talent around him as well, and he's got a coach that wants to use him and knows how to use him, which is very important. I don't know if I can say that in Cliff Kingsbury.
Okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb pretty much cancel each other out. So I think for me, I'm pretty much comparing Kyler and Matthew Stafford at this point. And I just think Matthew Stafford just has the better total arm talent and better weapons there.
Consistent.
So consistency, yeah. And better coaching. So I think you can get, the 5,000 yards, the 30 touchdowns, other than the Kyler kind of running sometimes, maybe inconsistent quarterback play from time to time. So yeah, that I think again the value dip between Kyler. You're getting Kyler in the first and Stafford in the Superflex league, maybe late second, early third. I'll take that. So give me the Jefferson in that.
Just a little, quick way to tell you, hey, you do not need the cheat code at quarterback. You could do it another way.